Did you know that St. Luke's University Health Network, based in the Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, has been recognized by the U.S. government as the highest performing health system in the United States for quality? You heard right. St. Luke's #1 recognition affirms our status as the top leader among the most respected healthcare providers in the nation, including Houston Methodist and the Mayo Clinic. To state it simply, if you want to receive the best care when you go to a hospital, come to St. Luke's.
In the squadron, they called him Bullets, but we call him Greg Kelly. Greg Kelly is on the air on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Okay, we're back. President Trump will be speaking in just a little while, and we expect that he's going to say something about Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard has just resigned or announced her upcoming resignation from the Directorate of National Intelligence. That is a cabinet-level position. All of the intelligence agencies technically report to her. The intelligence agencies have been historically out of control for a very, very long time. Very tough to corral them. There was some speculation that she wasn't down with the conflict in in Iran, and all kinds of other petty squabbles that happen behind the scenes. But she has cancer, they say. Cancer. So we'll have more information. I want everybody, though, to savor this along with me. All right? It was back 2019, actually. It was the 2020 campaign for president, which starts in 2019. You know, the big, long primary season, and they actually start campaigning, and they have debates the year before. This is 2019. I think it might have been in Los Angeles. Where was this debate? I know I was in Los Angeles when I saw it. Maybe that's why I'm thinking of it that way. But anyway, Tulsi Gabbard clobbered Kamala Harris in the debate. She was running for president as a Democrat. And I must say, at the time, I don't know. I didn't have much of an opinion. She impressed me. She impressed me a lot. And, Roger Stone, who we talked to earlier, thinks she's going to be president someday. He also knew that President Trump would be president someday. He made that call in 1976. Pretty amazing. Okay, we have this moment from the debate, Carlos. This my favorite moment from the debate, where she gets clobbered. We'll come back to it. Very talented politician. Very talented politician. Nobody knows this stuff like she does. All right, instead, if you don't mind, we can go to, hear it. This is the debate. She's good. Watch. Or listen.
As President, I will end this foreign policy, end these regime change wars, work to end this new Cold War and arms race, and instead invest our hard-earned taxpayer dollars actually into serving the needs of the American people right here at home.
Senator Harris, any response?
Oh, sure. I think that it's unfortunate that we have someone on the stage who is attempting to be the Democratic nominee for president of the United States, who during the Obama administration spent 4 years full-time on Fox News criticizing President Obama.
That's
who
ridiculous,
has spent full-time criticizing people on this stage as affiliated with the Democratic Party. When Donald Trump was elected, not even sworn in, buddied up to Steve Bannon to get a meeting with Donald Trump in the Trump Tower, fails to call a war criminal by what he is as a war criminal, and then spends full time during the course of this campaign, again, criticizing the Democratic Party. What we need on the stage in November is someone who has the ability to win. And by that, we need someone on that stage who has the ability to go toe-to-toe with Donald Trump, and someone who has the ability to rebuild the Obama coalition and bring the party and the nation together. I believe I am that candidate.
Thank you, Senator. Congresswoman Gabbard, I'll give you
She got 1% of the vote. Not even 1%. And had to quit. All right. Well, you know what she did there? What Kamala did? She just rang the bell of somebody who had yet really to begin the fight. Oh, you want to go that way, do you? You want to do that? You want to do that? You want to talk like that? Okay, because I know a few things about you, Kamala. Now, listen to round two. Go ahead.
Back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris, your response.
As the elected Attorney General of California, I did the work of significantly reforming the criminal justice system of a state of 40 million people, which became a national model for the work that needs to be done. And I am proud of that work. And I am proud of making a decision to not just give fancy speeches or be in a legislative body and give speeches on the floor, but actually doing the work of being in the position to use the power that I had to reform a system that is badly in need of reform. That is why we created initiatives that were about reentering former offenders and getting them counseling.
The bottom line is, Senator Harris, when you were in a position to make a difference and an impact in these people's lives, you did not. And worse yet, in the case of those who were on death row, innocent people, you actually blocked evidence from being revealed that would have freed them until you were forced to do so. There is no excuse for that. And the people who suffered under your reign as prosecutor, you owe them an apology.
All right. And it's true because, hey, wait, is this happening? No, it's really good what
Rubio
just happened
at the
there.
NATO conference.
Really good. Because, Kamala Harris, she ran for Attorney General, became the California Attorney General, and had that job because it was fashionable, right? A woman, I'm going to look tough. I'm going to be really tough on crime. I'm going to be tough. Until it wasn't, fashionable to be tough on crime as a Democrat, right? And then they used that against her. But you could say, well, that's good that she was tough on crime. Not really. She was still woke and weird. And there are a lot of other things that attorneys general do. Actually, it's not really a frontline crime fighting situation for the state attorney general. They have all kinds of other, it's more regulatory stuff, and it's all like lawsuits between states. It's not like day in, day out prosecuting. You don't hear about the California state attorney general bringing a case against somebody. You have independent district attorneys who do that. But then she had to backtrack all that stuff and she marketed herself as a tough on crime, tough as nails prosecutor. And it blew up in her face. Hey, all that to say, we're going to miss Tulsi Gabbard. I hope she kicks this thing, and I hope she runs for president someday. She has a lot to offer this great country. All right. Can we go back to Jeff Bezos? Because everybody's still talking about this interview. And the more I listen to it, quite frankly, I'm like, what the hell? Is this guy really that smart? I mean, it seems kind of ordinary in a way. Go ahead.
I started thinking about this and doing some research. A nurse in Queens who makes $75,000 a year pays more than $12,000 a year in taxes. Does that really make sense? So people talk about, making the tax system more progressive. How about we start by having the nurse in Queens not pay taxes? Why is a nurse in Queens who makes $75,000 a year paying more than $1,000 a month in taxes?
Hey, Jeff,
That's
you got a problem with
$1,000
Queens? It's not exactly a hellhole. What's he getting at?
Could help with rent or groceries or anything. And so, and by the way, do you know what that all adds up to? The bottom half of income earners in this country pay only 3% of the taxes. It's only 3%. We can find 3%. So we don't have, it's a small amount of money for the government, that. And really, and the more I thought about it, to me, it's kind of absurd that we're doing this. We shouldn't be asking this nurse in Queens to send money to Washington. They should be sending her an apology. It really makes no sense.
Okay, but then on the other end,
the question is...
Hey, everybody, stop. Good news and bad news at the same time. Forgive me, there was some fake news floating around, and I got to correct it. Tulsi Gabbard's husband was diagnosed with bone cancer. Bone cancer, not a good cancer to have. Very, very painful. All right, Tulsi Gabbard, President Trump's announced Gabbard wrote in her resignation letter that her departure is related to her husband's diagnosis with extremely rare form of bone cancer. At this time, I must step away from public service to be by his side and fully support him through his battle. Abraham, let's see here. Abraham has been my rock throughout our 11 years of marriage, standing steadfast through my deployment to East Africa on a joint special operations mission, multiple political campaigns, and now my service in this role. All right, so it's the husband with bone cancer. Okay. All right. Well, that's an important, that's important. She doesn't have it. He does. Abraham is his name. Okay. Thank you, Tulsi. We wish your husband the very best. And that actually lends me more to wonder, is this the only reason why she's leaving? All right. It's fair. It's fair to just wonder. All right. Back to Jeff Bezos, please. And, the poor nurse in Queens. I mean, I don't know. There's a little bit something aloof about him and a little bit something naive about him, in my opinion. But keep going.
Higher taxes to pay for the 3% component part of this that you think is going to need to be paid for, if not more than that, given the debts we have.
It's certainly a perfectly valid policy debate, right, to say, do we want an even more progressive tax system? So, the line that gets quoted all the time is, the wealthy should pay their fair share. Right. And we can argue about what the fair share is. That's a policy debate. That's okay. But the vilification is the thing that's just the distraction. And by the way, if you really are being honest about it, we don't have a revenue problem in this country. We already have the most progressive tax system in the world. The top 1% of taxpayers pay 40% of all the tax revenue. The bottom half pay only 3%. We have already, and I think it should be 0. I don't think it should be 3%. Right. I think it should be 0. So we'd be making it more progressive that way. We actually have a spending problem, and that's a skills issue. I mean, let me give you an example. The New York City school system. Right. They spend $44,000 per student. $44,000. That's 30% more per student than other big cities like Chicago, LA, and Boston. And it's 3 times more than Miami and Houston. And by the way, New York City doesn't get better outcomes. But listen, let me just say, if we ran Amazon the way New York City runs their school system, your packages would take 6 weeks to arrive. We'd have to charge you a $100 delivery fee, and then when the package did finally arrive, it'd have the wrong item in it anyway. We can't. That's a skills issue, Andrew. It's not about. It's just competence.
But there's also a question about, there's teachers unions in New York, for example.
None of this money is getting to the teachers. I promise you, if you're charging $44,000 per student, how much of that money do you think is trickling down to teachers? Not much.
And so you don't think it's about creating a livable wage for the teachers? I mean, that's part of the issue is sort of how do you create this livable wage, affordability issue?
More of that, they could, that amount of spending should come down, and more of it should go to the teachers. It's just that if you look at the level of administration in the New York public school system, it's off the charts. It's like they have all these middle managers and senior leaders. The money does not get to the teachers.
Let me ask you a question, though, about great wealth, though. And the other issue on the tax front is whether people of great means at the very, very top end, and Elizabeth Warren has made this point repeatedly, I think she's made it in reference to you and others. What? Are able to pay a lower tax rate, even though you're paying an enormous sum in taxes, a lower tax rate than maybe I am.
These people sometimes say that I don't pay taxes. That's not true. I pay billions of dollars in taxes. And it's a perfect, again, if people want me to pay more billions, then let's have that debate. But don't pretend, that's going to solve the problem.
Stop. That's a good point. I didn't know. Did you hear that? The top 1% pays 50% of the taxes. That's a lot. Something along those lines. The system is supposed to be worked, though, right? There are all kinds of, and they want it worked. I used to think, well, never mind what I think. I don't want to be audited again. But I always save my receipts, and everything is in order. So if it happens, it happens. Yeah, tax code, complex. Hey, I like, what's his name? Our friend Steve Forbes. The flat tax. The flat tax. You can do your taxes on a postcard. It really would be a beautiful thing. Unfortunately, practically, it's not going to happen. We'll be right back.
Greg Kelly on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Did you hear about the man in California who had Trump flags kind of all over his house, outside as well? American flags, Trump flags, big signs supporting the 250th birthday of America. And he was beaten, 69-year-old Army veteran. And in his neighborhood, he was kind of known for doing that. He was brutally beaten, and it looks like he was beaten to death. This happened in March, and the man might die soon. Just terrible. And again, another example of left-wing violence. Left wing. It's the left. It's the left. Carlotta, hello. Real quick.
Hi, how are you? Cape May is lovely, and the girls would love seeing the painted ladies, those houses of all colors. You could drive around and show it to them. But then you go an hour or two more, or the next morning, you go anywhere down the shore where the wild horses are in the water, the Assateague horses, and the girls would love that. Have you ever heard about them or seen them?
No.
Yes, they're wild horses off the Jersey Shore, and it goes all the way down to Virginia. And they're called the Assateague horses, and families go there and have it's just the most enchanting thing for children.
Well, that's a great tip. I have heard about wild horses. I saw them once in North Carolina on this special island, and then they swim. It's pretty cool. That's great. It's right there in New Jersey. Thank you very much, Carlotta. Everything good up there in Rhode Island?
Yes, it is.
You sure?
Have a good day. I'm positive, yes.
All right. Very good. Good tip. Thank you very much. Yeah, the pressure's on. I remember growing up, and my parents, gosh, they never disappointed. You know what I mean? They were just, the vacations were enchanting. Whether it was Disneyland or whether it was the Holiday Inn Hotel. It didn't take much to amuse my brother and me. A swimming pool, right? Oh, my gosh. A swimming pool on the side of I-95, and we were in heaven. Great times. We would go with my dad when he went on active duty for the Marine Corps and go to North Carolina, Emerald Isle, outside of Quantico. Where else did we go? Little Creek, Virginia. That was a lot of fun. And great times. And now we're in charge of providing some memories for my children, 4 and 6. And that's going to be a beautiful challenge, right? It's a challenge, but it's a beautiful one. All right, there's the music. Be right back.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
So I'm seeing now more videos of people who were stormed because of their activity on January 6th, stormed by FBI SWAT teams. The most egregious was Christopher Cuny. Didn't hurt anybody, didn't break anything, and they sent a SWAT team storming into his house. I'm seeing more videos. Some of these I've seen, a lot of them I have not seen. And the FBI is so heavy-handed, so stupid, really stupid, because it's dangerous. You send a bunch of guys with guns, drawn, big rifles, and they're wearing this crazy SWAT gear, totally unnecessary. And they're treating these people, these trespassers, and they're not really trespassers because this was a setup and the door was left open for them, and there were FBI agents in the crowd kind of facilitating this whole thing. And people inside the chamber, obviously, like Nancy Pelosi, who were in on it, who wanted something bad to happen so they could blame Trump, so they could blame MAGA, cancel MAGA, and put us on the run for 4 years. Sons of bitches, quite frankly. I can't believe it. They deserve $1.7 trillion, let alone $1.7 billion. So listen to this. The stupid FBI. Just stupid. Right? Unbelievable. That really needs to be rebranded. What's his name? Kash Patel was right. You got to just move out of town, come up with a new name, and shut it down because it stinks. Sorry, but when you get a couple of people who didn't hurt anybody and break anything, and you send the SWAT team in, listen to how they knock on the door. All right, just listen to this. Go ahead.
FBI, we have a warrant. Come to the door.
Is that necessary? We have a warrant. We saw you walking around on January 6th.
Come to the door.
We know you had a MAGA hat on the steps of the Capitol. Reminds me when Ralph Cramden demanded Harvey come out of that room. Come on out, Harv!
Step out. Step out. All the way out. Step to the side.
The guy in a T-shirt. They're treating him like he's Osama bin Laden. Dirty little secret about the FBI. They don't have enough to do. I mean, they have a lot to do, but they don't do it.
Come to the front door.
Ah! Come on out, Harv!
Show us your hands. Hands empty in view.
Hey, stop for a second. This dumb thing, show us your hands. Carlos, have you ever heard that phrase before, show us your hands? They came out with it like 7 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. Show us your hands. In the olden days, freeze, police. Put your hands up. Show us your hands. Well, what do you mean by that? Show me my... okay, here they are. And so you want my hands to come at you in some way? God forbid you feel menaced. You know? Hands. Show me your hands. Freeze, police. And by the way, half of these guys ain't cops. You know, Fish and Wildlife, now they have guns. Barbara the Patriot will put it all in perspective for us. Barbara, hello. Sorry about yesterday. How are you? What's on your mind?
Hey, Greg, I'm fine. Thank you. What you're talking about, you are echoing the words of a man named Primo Levi, who was an Italian who survived the Holocaust survivor. He was a Jewish chemist and a writer. And he said, monsters exist, but they are too few in number to be truly dangerous. More dangerous are the common men, the functionaries, that would be the swamp, that would be the FBI agents, the functionaries ready to believe and to act without asking questions. He says they are the most dangerous. And that's what we see, because all over the government, we see the swamp dwellers who will follow what their boss wants, even though they know it's not right. But they believe that if they don't do that, they'll be fired. And if they do misbehave, they will be rewarded one way or the other.
Yeah, a lot of people just want their, my job. And I kind of understand that. I understand it better than I used to be honest. I understand it better than I used to. Because once you get kids in the equation, you know what I mean? That's how they get you. People do anything for their kids, right? And but you always have to do the right thing no matter what. Hey, President Trump is landing in New Jersey ahead of a New York campaign event. Is he coming to the city tonight? He's on the mini Air Force One. The mini Air Force One flying around. Who is that Italian guy again?
His name was Primo Michele Levi. It might be Michael Levi. It's an odd spelling. But he did a lot of writing about his experience as a survivor of the Holocaust. And his someone who had a similar experience who said that silence encourages the tormentor, never the tormented. Elie Wiesel.
Oh, gosh.
Elie Wiesel.
Yeah, no.
Because here we are wanting people to speak out, wanting people to stand up not only to what happened to the January 6ers, but the lawfare against President Trump and against so many Americans. And now the demonstrations that are targeting the Jewish people. We need people to speak up. Elie Wiesel lived the worst of it, as did this other man, Primo Levi. They lived the worst of it. They survived the Holocaust, and they are warning us and telling us what has to be done, that you and I and everyone needs to speak out in their circle of friends, in their church, in their community, in groups that they belong to. We must speak out against this injustice.
Everybody. So true. I love what you said about monsters. You know, monsters are in short supply. Hey, so are heroes for that matter. Everyday heroes. We need more of them. Regular people stepping up. Barbara, we thank you. As always, you're the best. Can I hear a little bit more of the Jeff Bezos little speech that has people talking? I am intrigued. He gets to some interesting meat here. His economic stuff, believe it or not, I'm not impressed with. But keep going.
All the taxes I pay, and it's not going to help that teacher in Queens. I promise you. So you can't connect those two things, not logically. There are more examples. Why is rent expensive? Why is rent so expensive? I recently saw somebody blamed it on Airbnb. Okay, Airbnb is not the cause of expensive rent. In fact, it's been almost, let me finish here 1 sec. It's already been outlawed in New York City, and rents are still very high. So we know Airbnb isn't causing high rents. What's really causing high rent is government intervention. We subsidize demand with things like tax policy, which is fine, but at the same time, we constrain supply. We constrain supply with things like zoning and permitting. Why does it take so long to get something permitted to build? If you want rents to come down, Econ 101, really simple. You need to, you can't sort of subsidize supply. Subsidize demand and constrain supply. If you do, prices are going to skyrocket. But this is not anybody's fault other than government policy. And this is fixable. Again, this is a skills issue.
Well, let me ask you about government policy, though, because the other piece of the argument is that the wealthy have extraordinary influence over government policy and have too much influence over government policy. By the way, over tax policy, over housing, over all of it.
What I would say is that we have way too much corporate welfare, way too much corporate subsidies. We have there's way too much influence in politics from business, in some cases wealthy people who really focus on that, unions. There's a bunch of people interfering in the political process, and if we can make that better, we should do that too. That would be another root cause. We go back and figure out
all right, thanks a lot. This is a lot of babbling. All right, I totally agree about the government regulation, the government red tape, and that was interesting about Airbnb. I didn't know that. Hello, Russ. You want to say something about this? Russ from White Plains.
Well, Bezos used the pandemic to destroy local business, but I really enjoyed Barbara giving her opinion, and talking about speaking out and who's heroes. I wanted to know, did you see this Israeli Foreign Minister Ben-Gvir, who treated people picked up in the flotilla to Gaza? He was treating them to humiliation ritual, and Netanyahu had to give a false apology. Those people are heroes, and we really
all right, you're talking too fast, as usual, and you're getting little nasty asides in there left and right. All right, and did he destroy small businesses? The pandemic. Do I blame Amazon for that? He's a businessman, all right? And I don't like the mass, but they're able to undersell, right? It's part of what happens. This is what do they call it? Creative destruction. Something like that. So, I don't like you giving Bibi a hard time. I think he's a great guy. I think he's a great man, and a great man for this moment. And I have no idea what you're talking about otherwise. But Russ, you want to talk about anything local? Got anything local on your mind? What about something, or New York, or California, or do me a favor, say something nasty about somebody I don't like. Say something nasty about Gavin Newsom. You got anything bad to say about Gavin Newsom?
I don't like his hairdo.
Great. Nice job. All right, what?
Less percent of his income than you do, or teachers or nurses. It's absurd. He's a money hoarder.
Who's a money hoarder?
Bezos is hoarding money.
Oh, no, he's not. How do you know? You haven't seen his stuff. You're making wild assumptions and that kind of thing. You are. He just said, I believe it. They pay billions and billions and billions in taxes. Billions. A money hoarder. No, I don't see it that way. You get anything from Amazon? Be honest.
Never.
Oh.
I don't do that. Hey, but Musk got rich on taxpayers' money subsidizing those e-cars.
Oh, my gosh. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want him to do? What do you want him to do? What do you want him to do?
Return the money.
No, of course not. You didn't rip us off. He didn't rip us off. Thank God this innovator, this genius named Musk is ours. How about that? The government facilitating, not destroying, not inhibiting. I love it. I love it. If he caught a break, God bless him. God bless that man. See you later. Robert, hello. How are you?
Oh, hi, Greg. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Dude, are you okay?
No, my whole life been turned upside down.
What the hell happened?
These past 2 years. Well, I was a victim of a vicious attack by a family member who tried to murder me.
What kind of relation? Hopefully it was like a distant cousin. I would hate to believe it.
No, it was my so-called brother.
Oh, man, I'm so sorry. What happened?
Yeah. Well, him and my sister basically got together. I suddenly discovered they have a mother. It's just been me and my mother, really, for the past 35 years. It's a long thing. I know time is...
let me guess. She died, and then there was money at stake, and then they came at you, right?
No, there's no real money. There's just this old broken-down home here in northern Westchester. We moved up here in the late 70s, but never moved the small business that I was raised in, and I had no say in nothing. I was a teenager, and I always had to work on that thing. The neighborhood became really bad, and on we went. My father was actually murdered in 1994 at the small business we had, and it was in the Bronx, and the neighborhood just really went down the tubes, and I was still around, and my mother just wouldn't give it up. No way, and I couldn't leave her. I didn't want her winding up the same way. I mean, the guy that married my father had like 15 prior felonies, I was reckoning, and yet he was out on the street. But anyway.
Wait a second. All right, just real quick. What kind of business?
It was probably the last old-fashioned ice cream store in the Bronx. Probably the last one.
And somebody came in and robbed the place and shot your dad?
My father was stabbed to death. He had just gone out to... because if we left the car on the side street too long, once again, things would be stolen. But we didn't want to feed the meters all afternoon, so a spot opened up when you didn't have to feed the meter anymore. It was early, like 7 o'clock. It was just routine. He just went to get the car and grab that spot, move it to the front of the store. And he got pounced on by this guy who was just released from Clinton Correctional Facility like 5 days earlier. How they gave this guy parole with his record is unbelievable.
But he just got out of jail 5 days ago?
The guy that murdered my father.
Yeah.
Just got out.
Well, I mean, man, that was a solid prison sentence, right? I mean, I would like to see life, but he did 31 years. I hope we got to stay clear of him. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. And now your family's giving you a hard time. Jeez.
Every day with my mother, and for like no pay, and she wouldn't give it up. She just kept saying one more year.
All right, no, my God, listen. Now oh gosh, all right. What can we be happy about? How can I help?
And we finally walked away in 2006 and had to leave behind everything for the rich landlord, and we've just been struggling, and my mother got into her 90s and started to fail mentally, and suddenly, like I said, they were out of the picture. They didn't care how we lived here in abject poverty.
Abject poverty? All right, well, okay, we got to bring this in for a landing because we're up against the break. How can what?
You know, he broke in. That's right. He was charged with 5 felonies, my brother, but the worst thing was him and my sister kidnapped my poor mother who had dementia that night, and even though the police did charge my brother like 5 days later, I said, you got to help me get my mother out of their hands. And they said they couldn't help with that. But your brother's been charged, and he made bail right away. It was only $30,000. And so then they both had her, and they kept my mother from me. And I went crazy for a year. And finally, after a year, I finally found out what they did with her. They stuck her in a nursing home over an hour away.
Oh, man, I'm so sorry, pal. All right, yikes. Okay, yikes. All right, what are we going to do right now? How can we help? What's the deal? What's the bottom line here, sir?
The bottom line is they're going all out to make me homeless. My lowlife brother got a sweet plea deal that was never discussed with me a year later. he got to plead to like simple assault, and that's it, and no time, no restitution to me, anything. And they're going all out to take the home and make me homeless, what they set out to do. They tried to murder me. They murdered my mother, as far as I'm concerned. And
do you have a few bucks? Do you have a few bucks saved up?
Very little. I
are you a drinking man? Hey, are you a drinking man?
Nope. Nope. Nothing. Nothing.
Boy.
No drugs. No nothing. Never
All right.
even tried.
All right. Well, I'm so sorry all this happened. I don't know. Keep the faith. What do you want me to do?
Jennifer Harrison on, and she doesn't do anything either.
All right, listen, I got to run. Can you call me back on Monday or Tuesday or sometime next week? Would you mind doing that?
Okay.
All right, do me a favor. Give this guy the special number, all right? The special number. Would you do that for me, Carlos? The special number. Don't lose this number, okay? It's special. All right, pal? We'll see you later. Talk to you next week. Oh, boy. We got to cheer this guy up somehow, right? Yikes. All right, I'll be right back.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
So President Trump was going to be in New Jersey this weekend, and now he's going to be in Washington this weekend. He really needs to be. There's a wedding, by the way. His son's getting married. He can't go to that. Got to be in the White House. So some people are saying, it's pretty much bombs away any moment now, or maybe peace is at hand. I hope so. There's that Abby Hornacek on Fox News. Somebody going to marry that woman or what? Right? I think she should get married. It's time to get married. All right? It's time to get married. Makes me uncomfortable that she's not married, actually. And, yeah, I think it's time. All right, listen, I got to get the hell out of here for Memorial Day weekend. I hope you have a great one. Ooh, wow, look at that shot as she gets on that airplane. Is that Abby? Yeah, it is. Sure is. Hello, Roberta.
Oh, I was talking about Abbey. I pass by the Abbey Gate Memorial a lot. It's in, anyway, it's very sad. It tells you there's a flag for each Marine that died, and it tells you their age and where they're from, and they're all very young. I think 30 was the oldest. And it's just a sad reminder of that horrible thing that Biden. I heard they knew where the terrorist was, and nobody did anything about it.
Yeah, that's how they roll. It's really sad. Where is this memorial?
Okay, it's Arthur Road and Richmond Avenue, and I pass it a lot, and it's really sad reminder of what happened to them.
I want to see it. Thank you, Roberta. James, very quick.
That woman, hi, Greg. That woman that called in about the wild horses.
Yeah.
In Assateague. Assateague is correct, but it's in Ocean City, Maryland.
Ocean City, Maryland, not in the other place. Okay, thank you for straightening that out. It's Memorial Day. Enjoy and also reflect. All the best.
Thanks for listening to The Greg Kelly Show. You can hear The Greg Kelly Show weekdays at 12:15 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?